Sony is a behemoth company within the video game industry, so of course they want results. They want to make as much money as possible, as quickly as possible, on as many projects as possible. And Naughty Dog hasn't had the best track record over the past couple of years in terms of customer satisfaction. They have upset a lot of people. Their upcoming game, Intergalactic The Heretic Prophet, has already faced a lot of backlash, and it looks like maybe internally they are facing major problems. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, no company really cares about their employees, no company really cares about their customers. At the end of the day, they care about making as much money as possible, and that's why it's wild to me when people idolize these companies and say, oh my god, they're so amazing and they're so perfect and every company should strive to be them. Every company has some kind of issue, and over the past few years, we have heard the media basically shill at all points possible for companies like Naughty Dog, but it looks like things are now turning not in their favor because Sony is sick of their BS. Sony wants to make money on Intergalactic. Sony is demanding they actually see something related to this game, like finishing an internal demo, and that means crunch. So it says Naughty Dog developers reportedly hit with mandatory overtime to finish an internal demo for its upcoming sci-fi game, Intergalactic The Heretic Prophet. After years of being accepted as just how things are done, crunch, working horrifically long hours for weeks or months at a stretch in order to meet an arbitrary deadline set by an executive who's probably going home on time every night, is now widely frowned upon in the video game industry, but it also seems to be awfully hard to do away with. A new Bloomberg report says Naughty Dog has been pushing employees to work for at least 8 extra hours per week since late October in order to finish an internal demo of its upcoming sci-fi game, Intergalactic The Heretic Prophet. Now, if you actually had a lot of talented people on a development team, if it wasn't just ranks being bloated by activists, maybe everyone would be able to pull their weight individually, and maybe games would actually be able to get done on time without any crunch. But we're also talking about only 8 hours overtime a week, which really does not sound like a lot in the grand scheme of things. Should it be mandatory? No. Is crunch bad? Yes. But at the same time, are they requiring everybody to be in office except for, 4 hours a day? No. Like, there are plenty of people that do work 8 hours overtime a week. Regardless, though, we are talking about a company that really only has themselves to blame. Sony has allowed Naughty Dog to hire who they want. And Naughty Dog has gone on to hire activists, people who are in this libtard echo chamber, people who are not actually talented, people who are not actually deserving of the positions that they have. And so you have dead weight on these teams. Maybe you shouldn't be hiring narrative consultants and you should be hiring veteran video game developers. It says, though, that Intergalactic was revealed at the Game Awards 2024 with a long cinematic that landed, and we also had heard Neil Cuckman say that the game, despite its clear action trappings, is about faith and religion, which is an interesting pitch, but we really haven't heard anything about it ever since. Now, a big problem with Intergalactic The Heretic Prophet is the risk that they are taking with this game. It is a new IP, it's got a controversial actress at the helm, it's got a controversial team behind it because Naughty Dog's last game, The Last of Us Part 2, was extremely divisive. You are talking about a time when you have developers who are taking to social media and attacking fans, and you have major budgets. This could be a very easy disaster in Sony's eyes, and they want reassurances. They want to know that this team isn't just taking the money and running with it, that they are actually putting it back into the project in a way that makes sense, that they're making headway, and it's really no shocker to see why. From what we understand, Sony could be ditching Western studios as their focus and may shift back to Japanese developers and traditional stories for exclusives if games like Ghost of Yotei and Intergalactic Intergalactic The Heretic profit fail. Now, we don't know what their internal goals were with Ghost of Yote. We heard that it had a 60 million budget. It did make that back. It did double that, so that could be viewed as a success. But when it comes to the reception from gamers, it did not go over well. It was a very big risk, and it also is still trailing behind Tsushima. So we don't know what their goals were with Yote, but some might consider it a failure. Some might consider it a success. Either way, they haven't bragged about it, which isn't a good sign, though. Intergalactic The Heretic profit has faced nothing but backlash at this point in time. You're releasing an initial CGI trailer that doesn't really appear to give us any information on the game itself, except for, oh, she's going around basically collecting up ex-crew members. We haven't seen any major gameplay clips or gameplay teasers, extended sections of gameplay, I guess I should say. And to top all of that off, Tati Gabrielle is a controversial actress because not only is she an activist, but she did take to social media and attacked gamers for criticizing her look and her character in Intergalactic. Plus, Last of Us Part 2 was not a sweeping success. Sure, it made money, but it also has a 5.8 user score over on Metacritic, and whenever you hear discussions about this game, they're generally negative. A lot of people are pretty upset with the direction they took The Last of Us Part 2 in, and they just lost a massive chunk of their TV show audience because of the Joel and 1 decision. So yeah, none of this looks particularly solid for Naughty Dog or for Intergalactic, and well, people are taking to social media to voice how they're feeling about this, and the responses are: imagine working overtime to polish a piece of shit. Bald on arrival. Naughty Dog have forgotten how to make a likable main character, and I don't think that every single main character needs to be a 10 out of 10 bombshell or extremely feminine. I think it's perfectly fine to have a more masculine lead female, but she still has to have something intriguing about her. She still does have to resemble a female in some way, shape, or form. Even if she's not walking around with her nails done and false eyelashes and wearing pink and saying slay, she doesn't have to be hyper feminine, but she also has to resemble a female in some way. And she's also gotta be a little bit of an interesting character. She's gotta be kind or compassionate to maybe specific people. She's gotta have really funny quirks or relatable quirks. She has to have something going for her. So far, she just kind of seems like a bitch. People are hating for no reason. Naughty Dog have 0 single-player flops in the last 2 decades. It won't be out until 2028, guaranteed. Neil won't be able to stop himself but release it in an election year. I can already see the memes, and yeah, these people's timelines are very politically motivated. These people just are very politically motivated. It's really all they've got going for themselves, and I don't see it releasing anytime soon, especially if they really only just recently put it into full development. So yeah, it's a long ways away, and who knows if it will even launch in the state that they're promising, right? You also have to consider how bad AAA games are now, how they are broken and buggy, how they're missing content, how they promise you the world, and then really they bring you to McDonald's. They just do not give you the experience that they promise. So who knows what's going to happen? Maybe this will come out in a couple of years and it will be phenomenal and nobody will be disappointed. But so far things are not looking particularly good, and it seems that Naughty Dog is in a bit of a crisis mode right now because Sony is demanding to see some sort of results. They are being hit with mandatory overtime to finish an internal demo, and judging by all of the backlash Intergalactic The Heretic profit has already faced, boy, does it look bad for Naughty Dog. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.